Have you ever had one of those moments where it feels like your emotions are completely in charge, where anger, frustration, or anxiety take over before you can even stop to think? Maybe it's an argument that spiraled out of control, a stressful situation at work, or even something small, like a frustrating delay that left you feeling completely overwhelmed. It's like your mind and emotions are racing, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't calm yourself down. Sound familiar? What if I told you there's a way to change that, a way to take back control of your emotions, your reactions, and even your life? A method to remain calm no matter how chaotic the world around you gets. And no, it doesn't require years of meditation, special training, or living like a monk. The answer lies in a philosophy that's been around for thousands of years, a way of thinking, practiced by some of the greatest minds in history, and yet it's so simple and practical that you can start applying it to your life today. Welcome to the world of Stoicism, a philosophy designed not just for intellectuals, but for real people, living real lives, facing real challenges. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending that problems don't exist. It's about learning how to respond to life with strength, clarity, and unshakable calm. It's the art of self-control, mastering your inner world so that the outer world doesn't break you. In this audio, we're going to uncover the Stoic secret to staying calm in any situation. We'll explore practical techniques rooted in ancient wisdom, but perfectly suited for the modern world. These are tools that will help you remain steady in the storm, think clearly under pressure, and build emotional resilience that lasts a lifetime. Imagine a life where you don't get rattled by criticism, where setbacks don't send you into a spiral, where you face every challenge with confidence and calm. That's the power of mastering self-control, and the best part, anyone can learn how to do it. Yes, even you. So stick around because we're not just talking about theory here, we're diving into actionable strategies you can start using right now to take control of your emotions and unlock your inner strength. By the end of this video, you'll see life in a completely new way. But before we dive in, let me ask for one small favor. If you're ready to take this journey with me, hit that like button. And if you want to keep learning powerful, life-changing and ideas like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss a chance to grow, learn, and level up your life. Now let's get started. Let's explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and discover how mastering self-control can help you stay calm in any situation. You're about to learn a secret that has stood the test of time, and it's one that could change your life forever. Let's start with a question. What if I told you that the key to staying calm, no matter what happens, isn't about controlling the world around you, but about mastering what's within you? That's the essence of Stoicism, one of the most practical and transformative philosophies ever created. Stoicism was born over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece and Rome. It's not just a set of abstract ideas. It's a way of life designed to help people navigate the chaos of the world with strength and clarity. At its core, Stoicism teaches us this powerful truth. Focus only on what you can control and let go of everything else. Simple, right? Yet this principle has the potential to completely change how you approach life. Let me introduce you to some of the greatest minds behind this philosophy. First, there's Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled one of the most powerful empires in history, despite the immense pressure of leading a vast and often chaotic world. Marcus found peace through Stoicism, his private journal later published. As Meditations is filled with insights on how to stay calm and rational in the face of adversity. Then there's Epictetus, a former slave, who rose to become one of the most influential Stoic teachers. Epictetus reminds us that while we can't control the cards life deals us, we can control how we play them. His teachings focus on the idea that our power lies in how we choose to respond to life's challenges. And finally, there's Seneca, a philosopher and statesman who lived through the political turmoil of ancient Rome. Seneca's W-ings are a treasure trove of wisdom on resilience, self-discipline, and finding tranquility in a turbulent world. Now, what ties all these thinkers together is their commitment to mastering what the Stoics called inner calm. Inner calm isn't about ignoring problems or pretending that life is perfect. It's about developing the ability to remain steady and unshaken no matter what happens. Picture a tree standing tall in the middle of a storm. The wind may howl, the rain may pour, but its roots are deep and strong. That's the essence of Stoic inner calm. So how do we achieve this calm? The Stoics teach us that it all begins with our perception. Epic, Tita said, it's not events that disturb us, but how we interpret them. Think about that for a moment. It's not the traffic jam, the criticism, or the bad day at work that upsets you. It's the story you tell yourself about these events. Let's break that down with an example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You're late for an important meeting and frustration is bubbling up inside you now. The Stoic approach would be to pause and ask yourself, can I control this traffic? The answer, of course, is no. But what can you control your reaction? You can choose to get angry, or you can choose to take a deep breath, accept the situation and use the time to think. Listen to something uplifting or simply practice patience. This shift in perception is where the magic of Stoicism happens. By focusing only on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and choices, you free yourself from the unnecessary stress and frustration that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. Another key concept in Stoicism is the idea of the dichotomy of control. This simply means that in every situation there are things within your control and things outside of it. The Stoics teach us to identify which is which and to focus our energy only on what we can influence. Think of it like packing for a journey. You don't waste time worrying about the weather, you just bring an umbrella. And here's the thing, when you stop wasting energy on things outside your control, something incredible happens. You free up that energy to focus on what truly matters, your actions, your mindset, and your growth. This is the foundation of self-control, mastering your inner world so that the outer world doesn't overwhelm you. The Stoics also believed in living according to nature, which means accepting life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Seneca put it beautifully when he said, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be." This doesn't mean settling for less or giving up on your dreams. It means recognizing that life will always have its ups and downs and finding peace in the knowledge that you can handle it all with grace and resilience. So to sum it up, Stoicism isn't about being emotionless or detached. It's about finding freedom and strength in knowing what's within your control and what isn't. It's about changing your perspective and realizing that your power lies not in the external world, but in your own mind. By understanding these foundational principles, focusing on what you can control, mastering your perception, and cultivating inner calm, you're already on the path to mastering self-control. And once you embrace this mindset, you'll start to see the world and your place in it in a completely new way. Now that we've explored the foundation of Stoicism, let's move on to the real question. How do we actually put these principles into practice? How can you, starting today, develop unshakable self-control? The answer lies in simple, actionable techniques that can transform your everyday life. Let's break them down. 1. Pause before reacting. Picture this. You're in the middle of a heated argument. Your pulse is racing, your voice is rising, and you're about to say something. You know you'll regret what if, instead of reacting impulsively, you took a moment to pause. Here's the first Stoic technique. When emotions flare up, take a deep breath. That's it, just breathe. This simple act of pausing creates a tiny gap between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. And in that gap lies your power. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reminded himself, you have power over your mind. Not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength when you pause before reacting. You reclaim that power. Let's put this into a relatable scenario. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. A car cuts you off and your initial reaction is anger, maybe even road rage, but instead of hitting the horn or yelling, you take a breath, you remind yourself, this situation is beyond my control. What is within my control is my reaction. Just like that, you've shifted from being controlled by your emotions to being in control of them. 2. Practice negative visualization. Here's a technique that might sound unusual at first. Prepare for the worst. This is called negative visualization, and it's one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic toolkit. Negative visualization means imagining challenges or setbacks before they happen, not to dwell on negativity, but to train your mind to stay calm and composed. The Stoics believe that by preparing for worst-case scenarios, you'd be better equipped to handle them if they actually occur. For example, let's say you have an important presentation tomorrow. Instead of obsessing over everything that could go right, take a moment to visualize what could go wrong. Maybe your slides don't work, or you stumble over your words. By picturing these situations, you mentally prepare yourself to stay composed. You might even come up with backup plans like printing out your slides or rehearsing without them. As Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, put it this way: rehearse worst-case scenarios so you can face life's blows with strength and resilience. When you practice negative visualization, you're not being pessimistic. You're building emotional armor. Very focus on your circle of control. Let's talk about something we all struggle with, worrying about things we can't control. How often do you stress over someone else's opinion of you, the outcome of a situation, or even the weather? The Stoics teach us to focus only on what's within our circle of control. Epicus, the former slave turned philosopher, explained this perfectly. Some things are up to us and some things are not. Your thoughts, actions, and choices, those are up to you. The opinions, actions, or circumstances of others, those are not. Here's how you can apply this in real life. Imagine you're waiting to hear back about a job interview. You might feel anxious, replaying every moment of the interview in your head. But pause and ask yourself, is this within my power to change? The answer is no. What is in your control is how you spend your time while waiting. You could learn a new skill, focus on another job application, or simply relax and recharge. When you focus on your circle of control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. It's like cleaning out mental clutter, letting go of what doesn't serve you, and doubling down on what does. For daily reflection. Now here's a habit that can truly transform your self-control over time. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review your actions. Ask yourself, did I control my emotions today? Or did they control me? Were my reactions thoughtful or were they impulsive? Did I focus on what I could control, or did I waste energy on what I couldn't? This simple practice of reflection helps you become more aware of your patterns and gradually refine them. The great Stoics often wrote about the importance of self-examination. Marcus Aurelius, in his journal, constantly reviewed his thoughts and behaviors, reminding himself to live with intention to make this practice even more powerful. Try writing down your reflections. Keep a journal where you jot down moments when you felt challenged and how you responded. Over time. You'll start to notice patterns and, more importantly, progress. Here's a quick story to illustrate this. A friend of mine once struggled with losing his temper at work. After incorporating daily reflection, he started identifying triggers that made him angry, like tight deadlines or critical feedback. By recognizing these patterns, he was able to prepare for them and respond with calmness instead of frustration. Within a few months, he noticed a remarkable change in his behavior, a unified approach to self-control. Now, imagine combining all these techniques. You start your day practicing negative visualization, preparing your mind for whatever challenges may come throughout the day. You focus only on what's within your control, letting go of distractions and frustrations. When emotions arise, you pause, take a deep breath, and choose your response wisely. And at night, you reflect on your actions, learning and growing a little more each day. This isn't just about becoming calmer, it's about becoming stronger. Stoic self-control isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about channeling them in a way that empowers you. It's about mastering your inner world so that no external chaos can shake you. Remember, these techniques aren't just theories, they're tools. And like any tools, the more you use them, the sharper they become. So start small. Choose one technique to practice today. Maybe it's pausing before reacting or focusing in on your circle of control. Whatever it is, commit to it, because every small step brings you closer to mastering self-control and unlocking the calm, confident version of yourself that's been waiting all along. Let's take a moment to imagine something. Picture yourself as the calmest person in the room, no matter what's happening around you. People are arguing, the world feels chaotic, and yet you remain composed. Now ask yourself, what could you achieve with that kind of self-control? How much better could your life be? This is where the benefits of mastering self-control come into focus. Let's dive into why developing this skill is not just a philosophical ideal, but a practical superpower that can transform every aspect of your life. One better decision making. First, let's talk about decision making. How many times have you made a choice in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? Maybe you sent a harsh text in anger, quit a project in frustration, or spent money impulsively. Lack of self-control often leads to decisions driven by emotion rather than reason. When you master self-control, you flip the script, you pause, think, and choose wisely. Why does this matter? Because life is a series of decisions. The quality of your decisions determines the quality of your life. Imagine you're at work and a colleague criticizes your idea in a meeting. Your initial reaction might be to snap back or shut down, but with self-control, you take a moment to breathe and respond thoughtfully. Instead of escalating tension, you use the opportunity to ask questions, clarify your point, or even learn from their perspective. Over time, this approach builds your reputation as someone who's level-headed and solution-focused. A true leader, the Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Self-control gives you the clarity to act with integrity and wisdom even. Under pressure, 2. Emotional resilience. Next, let's explore emotional resilience, the ability to handle life's inevitable ups and downs without being thrown off balance. Think about it. How often do setbacks, criticism, or unexpected challenges ruin your day or even your week when you lack self-control? Emotions like anger, frustration, or sadness can take over. But when you develop emotional resilience, you become unshakable. Consider this. Someone criticizes your work harshly without self-control. You might take it personally, feel hurt, or lash out defensively. But with emotional resilience, you pause and remind yourself, it's not the criticism itself that bothers me. It's how I choose to interpret it. You see the feedback as an opportunity for growth rather than an attack on your character. Epicus captured this idea perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters when you master self. Control. You gain the power to choose your response, no matter the situation over time. This makes you stronger, not in a cold, detached way, but in a way that allows you to face life's challenges with grace and courage. 3. Stronger relationships. Now let's talk about something we all care deeply about: relationships. Whether it's with your family, friends, coworkers, or partner, the quality of your relationships plays a huge role in your happiness. Here's the thing, when you're not in control of your emotions, relationships suffer. A moment of anger can lead to hurtful words. A burst of frustration can create distance. On the other hand, self-control allows you to respond with empathy, patience, and clarity. Even in difficult moments, imagine you're having a disagreement with a loved one. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting the argument spiral out of control, you take a step back, you listen, you understand, and you communicate thoughtfully. This doesn't mean avoiding conflict. It means handling it in a way that strengthens the bond rather than breaking it. Here's a real-world example. A friend of mine once struggled with the constant arguments in their marriage. They decided to focus on self-control, practicing Stoic techniques like pausing before reacting and reflecting on their actions daily. Over time, their relationship transformed: fewer fights, deeper understanding, and a stronger connection, all because they chose to control themselves instead of trying to control their partner. Self-control doesn't just improve relationships, it deepens them. It shows others that you're reliable, thoughtful, and trustworthy, and in return, they're more likely to respond with the same level of respect and understanding. 4. Managing stress in modern life. Let's bring this all together by looking at the world we live in today. Stress is everywhere: work deadlines, social media pressures, family responsibilities, unexpected challenges. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but self-control is like a shield against the chaos. When you master it, you gain the ability to navigate modern life with calm and clarity. Take social media, for example. How often do you find yourself scrolling, comparing, and feeling inadequate without self-control? It's easy to fall into this trap, but with it, you set boundaries. You remind yourself, this is not within my control. What matters is how I use my time and energy. Instead of wasting hours online, you focus on what truly fulfills you or consider unexpected challenges, like a sudden car breakdown or an important meeting being rescheduled. These moments can feel stressful and frustrating, but when you focus on your circle of control, you realize, I can't change what happened, but I can control how I handle it. That simple mindset shift turns stress into an opportunity to adapt and grow. 5. The ultimate benefit: freedom. Here's the ultimate benefit of mastering self-control. Freedom from being a prisoner of your emotions. Freedom from reacting impulsively. Freedom from the need for external validation. When you're in control of yourself, you become unstoppable. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or other people's opinions. You act with purpose, clarity, and confidence. The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature. It means aligning your actions with what truly matters and letting go of everything else. It's about finding peace not in a world that's perfect, but in a world that's unpredictable. imperfect, and beautifully human. So why should you invest time in mastering self-control? Because it's not just about staying calm, it's about creating a life of purpose, resilience, and meaningful connections. It's about making better decisions, building emotional strength, and becoming the person you have always wanted. Remember, this journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Start small, practice, pausing before reacting. Reflect on your actions daily. Focus on what's within your control. With each step, you'll feel the benefits, not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. As we wrap up today's journey into the art of mastering self-control, let's pause for a moment and reflect. Why does this matter? Why should you take these principles and techniques and make them a part of your life? Because self-control is more than just staying calm. It's the key to unlocking the best version of yourself. Let's be real, mastering self-control isn't a one-time achievement. It's a practice, a daily effort to pause, reflect, and choose. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Think of it this way. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you choose to focus on what's within your control, you're training your mind. And over time, this training adds up. You become calmer, more composed, and more confident in handling life's challenges. So here's what I encourage you to do. Start small. Begin with one technique. Maybe it's pausing before reacting. The next time you feel anger, frustration, or stress creeping in, take a deep breath, count to 5. Ask yourself, what's the best way to handle this? That one simple habit can make a world of difference. Now, I want to leave you with a challenge this week. Commit to practicing self-control in one specific area of your life. Maybe it's at work the next time. A coworker tests your patience. Take that pause, respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. Maybe it's with your family or friends. The next time a disagreement arises, listen first, take a step back and choose your words carefully. Or maybe it's with yourself the next time you're tempted to procrastinate, overindulge, or give in to a bad habit. Remind yourself of your ultimate goal. Ask yourself, is this action bringing me closer to the person I want to be? Whatever you choose, commit to it fully. And here's the key. Keep track of your progress at the end of each day. Take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, did I practice self-control today? What did I do well? What can I improve tomorrow? Growth happens in these small daily reflections, and I'd love to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments below. What situation did you face? How did you apply the techniques? What results did you see? Let's create a community of growth, a space where we can learn from each other and celebrate our progress. Remember, mastering self-control isn't just about staying calm during stressful moments. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about choosing who you want to be, no matter the circumstances. Imagine living a life where external chaos no longer dictates your internal state. Imagine facing challenges with confidence and clarity. Imagine building relationships founded on trust, empathy, and understanding. That's the life you're working toward, and every time you practice self-control, you take one step closer to it. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said it best. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. You have that power within you. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One decision at a time and one step at a time. If you found this video valuable, let's keep this journey going. Hit the like button to let us know you're on board. Subscribe to the channel for more insights and practical tools to master your mind and your life. And don't forget to share this video with someone who could use a little extra calm and clarity in their day together. Let's build a world where more people choose self-control over impulsiveness, wisdom over chaos, and calm over stress. Have you ever felt like everything around you is closing in, causing you to lose your calm and balance in life amid the noise of modern life? We often get swept away by invisible pressures, gradually forgetting that true peace doesn't lie in avoiding difficulties, but in how we face them. Stoic philosophy, with its profound teachings, offers us a precious key to unlock the door to inner tranquility. It reminds us that calmness is not just a state of mind, but an inner strength that helps us stand firm amidst life's storms. In the second lesson of our series, Stoic Tips for Real Life, we will explore how to master your emotions and maintain serenity amidst the constant upheavals of life. You'll realize that peace is not something distant, but a precious gift that's always within reach, just waiting for you to recognize and cherish it. Are you ready to accept the challenge and discover the true power within you? Start now and join us in experiencing and embracing the wonderful principles of Stoic philosophy to live a life not only full of meaning, but also overflowing with happiness and peace. Number one, the one path to serenity. Have you ever wondered amidst the chaos of life how to find true peace of mind? It's not found in the things we possess or in the successes we chase, but in our ability to adjust our mindset, accept reality, and let go of what is beyond our control. This is the only path to tranquility, a path that the Stoic philosopher Epicus once spoke of. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about the moments in life when you felt powerless, when everything seemed to spiral out of control. It might be when you're anxious about work, when a relationship is on the brink of collapse, or when you're uncertain about the future. Have you ever realized that in those moments, peace doesn't come from changing your circumstances, but from changing your perspective? As Jesus once said, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. True. Tranquility isn't about trying to predict or control the future, but about learning to live fully in the present, accepting what is happening, and letting go of unnecessary burdens. Consider our daily lives, for instance. When you're rushing to work and get stuck in traffic, something is completely out of your control. Getting frustrated will only worsen your mood. But if you accept the situation and use that time to listen to your favorite music or brainstorm a new idea, you'll feel much lighter. This is how you can create peace for yourself, by changing how you react to unchangeable situations. Ultimately, what we can learn from both Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus is this: true peace doesn't come from trying to control the external world versus external world, but from mastering our inner world. Learn to live in the present and focus on what you can control: your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Only then will you truly find the path to inner peace, a path that remains steadfast no matter what storms life brings. Number two, circle of control. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the challenges of life, finding yourself submersed, immersed in anxiety, insecurity, and a loss of control? In such moments, Stoic philosophy advises us to return to the circle of control, a crucial concept that helps us clearly distinguish between what we can and cannot control. Understanding this distinction is the key to achieving inner peace. A practical example we can easily relate to is the use of social media. Many people get caught up in comparing themselves to others, worrying about negative feedback, or trying to control how others perceive them. But the truth is, we cannot control others' thoughts or feelings about us. The only thing we can control is how we use social media, making it a source of value rather than a cause of anxiety. When we talk about the circle of control, one of the most striking examples of applying this concept in real life is the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison but never lost his calm and inner resolve. Mandela couldn't control the brutal apartheid system in South Africa or change the fact that he was imprisoned for many years. However, he chose to control his response to this situation instead of letting hatred and anger consume him. Mandela focused on what he could control: his thoughts, his attitude, and his determination not to let circumstances turn him into a victim. During his years of imprisonment, he used his time to learn, reflect, and prepare for the day he would be free to continue fighting for his people's freedom. Mandela chose to focus on his circle of control, his attitude and actions, and this is what transformed him from a prisoner into a great leader who brought peace and change to South Africa. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. This is your circle of control. By concentrating on it, you will find true freedom and peace regardless of the turmoil around you. Ask yourself, will you choose to live in anxiety over things you cannot change, or will you focus on mastering what you can? The answer lies in your choice. Next, let's move on to secret number three in our journey of discovering and conquering your best potential. But before that, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt as if your mind was being controlled by endless worries, fears, and desires, as if invisible strings were pulling you into negative thoughts, robbing you of your mental freedom? Stoic philosophy teaches that to find true freedom, we must cut those strings, the external factors that control our minds. Number three, cut the strings that pull your mind. Think about our daily lives. How many times have you worried about what others think of you, gradually feeling the need to yourself just to please them. How often have you been caught up in comparing yourself to others on social media, only to end up feeling inadequate? These thoughts, if left unchecked, become invisible, strings that bind the mind, robbing us of true peace and freedom. Jesus also teaches us to let go of unnecessary worries and seek freedom in our souls, he said. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This rest is not just physical relief, but a release of the soul from the burdens and pressures of life. Oprah Winfrey is a living example of overcoming adversity and finding freedom in her soul by cutting the negative strings that once bound her life. Born into poverty in Mississippi in 1954, Oprah faced many challenges from a young age. She endured a troubled childhood marked by poverty, racism, and sexual abuse by family members. These painful experiences could have easily turned into invisible strings, pulling her into a pit of negativity and self-doubt. One of the major turning points in Oprah's life came when she realized that instead of focusing on what she lacked, a comfortable life and a loving family, she needed to focus on what she had: intelligence, perseverance, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. This was a crucial step in cutting the negative strings that had controlled her mind rather than being consumed by resentment and disappointment. Open. Oprah chose to focus on more positive values. Oprah Winfrey is clear proof that freedom and success do not come from escaping difficult circumstances, but from learning to master the mind, letting go of negative thoughts, and focusing on what truly matters. She embodies Stoic philosophy, a philosophy that not only helps us face adversity, but also rises above it to live a full and meaningful life. Cutting the strings that control your mind doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or avoiding difficulties. It means recognizing the external factors that control your thoughts and emotions and learning to let them go. When you do this, you find freedom in your soul, a freedom that no one can take away because it doesn't depend on external things. You will no longer be a victim of circumstances, but instead become the director of your life, living true to your values and goals. And that is the essence of Stoic philosophy, finding strength from within to live a life that is both full and serene. Number 4, peace is in staying the course. Have you ever felt lost amid life's challenges and obstacles, wondering if you're on the right path in those moments? Stoic philosophy reminds us that true peace doesn't come from avoiding difficulties, but from persevering on the path we've chosen. This means that peace comes from persistence and determination to stay the course, no matter what challenges or obstacles may arise. Imagine a marathon runner in the final miles of a race. At this point, their body is utterly exhausted. Every muscle feels like it wants to quit, and pain starts to spread through. Out their legs are heavy, and each step seems like a challenge, both physically and mentally. But what keeps them from giving up? What helps them push beyond their limits to reach the finish line? It's their steadfastness, strong will, and belief in the goal they set from the very beginning. The marathon runner understands that every step matters and every breath brings them closer to their goal. They know that comfort isn't the goal of this race, but rather the ability to overcome hardships to complete the journey. Peace for them isn't found in avoiding or quitting in the face of challenges, but in persevering forward. Despite the exhaustion and pain in those moments, the runner faces an intense internal battle. Part of them wants to stop to escape the pain and fatigue, but another part, the stronger and more resolute part, reminds them why they started this race. They recall the early morning training in the cold, the long hours running under the scorching sun, and the times they pushed beyond their limits. It is in these hardest moments that the runner finds the strength to continue. They understand that perseverance is not just about reaching the finish line, but about the journey they've undertaken, about not giving up when things get tougher. The marathon story reflects how we should face life. Sometimes we will encounter difficulties and seemingly insurmountable obstacles. But if we persist holding firm to our belief in the path we've chosen, we will find peace not in ease, but in the ability to overcome every challenge, just like the marathon runner. Our success doesn't come from avoiding difficulties, but from continuing forward step by step until we reach our goals. Share your thoughts on applying the principles of Stoicism in daily life. When you face difficulties, will you choose to retreat or continue moving forward with determination? Your story will be a source of inspiration and reflection for us all. Please leave a comment below and join the conversation. Number 5, never do anything out of habit. Have you ever wondered if you're living a life driven by habit repeating actions without truly reflecting on their meaning and purpose? Stoic philosophy warns us about the danger of letting life be led by habit, as this not only diminishes our awareness, but also distances us from our true essence. Consider our daily routines mindlessly scrolling through social media, working just to get tasks done, or even spending time with family without truly connecting. These habits can numb our ability to live a meaningful and purposeful life. When we let habits take control, we lose the opportunity to live actively, wisely, and mindfully. A clear example from reality is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. He was known for constantly challenging conventional habits, always seeking to innovate and create in everything he did. Jobs once said, "Live each day as if it were your last, because so may you'll most certainly be right." He never allowed himself to be bound by habit or routines. It was this approach that led him to create products that changed the world and left a lasting legacy in life. Each of us can fall into the trap of habit. But ask yourself, how can we live a life not controlled by repetitive actions, but instead live with mindfulness and creativity? Start with the smallest things. Ask why you do what you do and how it adds real value to your life. Live with awareness, with gratitude, and with presence in every moment. We want to thank and congratulate you for making it halfway through today's video. Your presence here shows that you are fully ready for this journey. Now let's shift your focus to the remaining four principles as we pause for thought in the process of self-improvement. Number 6, reboot the real work. When you wake up each day, do you ask yourself, what will I devote my time and energy to today that truly matters? In our modern lives, we often get caught up in the whirlwind of work, daily tasks, and societal pressures, losing sight of our true goals. Stoic philosophy reminds us that sometimes we need to pause, reflect, and restart the real work, by returning to what is essential, what brings real meaning and value to our lives. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, strongly emphasized that we must regularly evaluate how we spend our time and energy. Are you investing in what truly matters, or are you getting swept up in activities that merely keep you busy, chasing societal standards while forgetting your core values? Consider the life of Mahatma Gandhi, who dedicated his entire existence to fighting for freedom and justice through peaceful means. Gandhi didn't just go through the motions of life, he constantly questioned whether his actions truly reflected the values he believed. And every morning he woke up with a clear purpose and continually asked himself, is what I'm doing today bringing me closer to the ideal of a better world? This self-reflection helped him restart each day, ensuring that every action he took carried deep meaning and lasting value for both himself and humanity. In the modern context, restarting real work can begin with small but significant changes, reducing time spent on social media to spend more time with family, quitting jobs pursued solely for financial pressure to follow your passion, or simply taking time to care for yourself. Each decision, whether big or small, is a step toward reclaiming the true purpose of your life. Restarting the real work is a journey back to yourself, to the values you hold dear. It requires courage to let go of things that no longer serve you, and the determination to pursue what truly matters. Are you ready to start over, to put your goals and values first, and to live a life that not only exists, but is truly worth living? If you are ready, leave a comment saying, "Restart the real work," to show your commitment to change. And let's discuss how we can apply Stoic philosophy to build a better, more beautiful life. Remember, in every challenge, there is an opportunity for those who know how to seize it. Number 7, see the world like a PO and an artist as we live in this ever-changing world. Have you ever wondered if you could view life from a fresher, more emotional and creative perspective? Stoic philosophy, though often associated with reason and self-control, also encourages us to see the world through the eyes of a poet and an artist, with admiration, subtle and inspiration. Seeing the world like a poet and an artist does not mean ignoring harsh realities, but knowing how to find beauty and meaning in the smallest details of life. For example, when you stand before a sunset, instead of simply noticing the sun setting, try to pause and feel the magic in the last rays of light, in the changing colors of the sky, and in the sense of peace that moment brings. This is not just about appreciating beauty, but also a way to connect more deeply with life, to realize that every moment holds a valuable lesson. Vincent van Gogh, one of the greatest artists in history, lived a life full of suffering and misfortune. Despite battling mental storm, loneliness, and material deprivation, he maintained a heart full of emotion, love, and sensitivity to the world around him. Van Gogh was not just a painter. He was a soul who learned to find magic in what seemed most ordinary. He once shared, "I feel there is something inside me, something marvelous in my own heart, a love so F for nature and art, and it is what drives me to create." In Van Gogh's paintings, we can feel how he viewed the world with the eyes of a poet and an artist. He did not just paint wheat fields, sunflowers, or starry skies. He infused his soul and emotions into every brushstroke. For Van Gogh, every flower, every blade of grass contained a story, a deep emotion. What others might overlook as an ordinary day became for him timeless works of art, full of color and vitality. We in our daily lives can also learn to see the world through this lens. You can start by paying more attention to the small things. You often overlook a warm smile, the sound of rain, or a kind word. Every moment contains its beauty. And when we learn to recognize that life becomes richer and more meaningful, are you ready to start seeing the world as a poet and an artist, to discover the hidden beauties that life brings? Number 8, wherever you go, they your choices in the journey of life. We often encounter crossroads and important decisions that we must make. But have you ever stopped to reflect that wherever you go in life, geographically, spiritually, or emotionally, is the result of your own choices? This is a core principle of Stoic philosophy, that our lives are shaped by the decisions we make, and the responsibility for those decisions rests entirely with us. Ask yourself, how have you chosen in your life? Have you decided to let fear dictate your actions, or have you chosen courage and determination? Are you living the life you truly want, or are you pursuing goals imposed by others in modern life? We often find it easy to blame circumstances, others, or even fate for the difficulties we encounter. But if you look deeper, you will realize that it is the choices you have made, or even the lack of making a choice, that have led you to your current position. Take a real-life example. A person may feel dissatisfied with their current job, believing they are not appreciated or are treated unfairly. However, if they look back, they might realize that they chose to stay for the sake of security rather than seek a new opportunity, choosing to stay. Choosing not to change is still a choice. Jesus taught us about the power of choice when he said, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction. And many enter through it, but small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." He emphasized that the right path is often difficult and requires the courage to choose, but it leads to a true and meaningful life. So what about you? Which path will you choose? Will you let circumstances control you? Or will you seize the power of choice to guide your life to where you truly want it to be? Remember, where you end up is the result of the choices you make today. In the process of exploring the profound wisdom of Stoicism, I was very impressed by Marcus Aurelius's quote in Meditations. "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This quote brings us to a core practice of Stoicism, which is also the ultimate key to becoming extraordinarily wise. Number 9, reignite your thoughts. Have you ever felt like your mind is stuck in negative thoughts, prolonged worry, or fatigue? That is when we need to rekindle our thoughts and refresh our souls to continue the journey of life. With clarity and inspiration, Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of controlling our thoughts, because it is our thoughts that are the source of our emotions and actions. When you find yourself in a negative spiral, ask yourself, do these thoughts serve any purpose? Do they help you become a better person, or are they simply barriers that prevent you from moving forward? Rekindling your thoughts is the process of reshaping your mind, finding clarity in a new direction. It means allowing yourself to let go of old notions and obsessions that no longer serve you, and making room for more positive ideas and thoughts. Jesus also emphasized the importance of renewing the mind in the Bible when he said, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." This encourages us not to be bound by the negative thoughts of the world, but always to renew our minds to achieve peace and wisdom. A practical example is the life of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist and philosopher who survived the Holocaust, in his book Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl shares how he rekindled his thoughts in the most brutal circumstances. Instead of letting fear and despair control him, he chose to focus on the deeper meaning of life and the importance of hope. Frankl wrote, Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's way, it was this reshaping of his thoughts that helped him overcome the horrors and find meaning. Even in suffering, rekindling your thoughts is not easy, but it is a necessary journey to move forward powerfully and fully. Do not let old negative thoughts prevent you from living a life full of meaning and peace. Ask yourself, are you ready to let go of thoughts that no longer serve you and replace them with new, inspiring, and vibrant ones? Remember, a change in thought brings about a change in your life. In a world full of turmoil and constant change, calmness is the compass that guides us through life's storms. Stoic philosophy teaches us that calmness is not indifference or avoidance, but an inner strength that helps us face adversity with clarity and determination. When we learn to maintain a calm, we not only master our emotions, but also open the door to spiritual freedom, where anxieties cannot dominate and fears no longer hold us back. Remember, calmness is not just a state, but a choice. You can choose to keep your soul peaceful, thereby finding surrender and wisdom in all circumstances. By doing so, you will not only live a worthy life, but also become a source of inspiration for those around you, guiding them toward the path of true peace and freedom. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button to support the channel, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share the video with friends and family to spread the positive values of Stoic philosophy together. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss upcoming videos on Stoic living and personal development.